I am back with the designer debrief where I make sure that you are up to date on everything worth knowing in the world of luxury fashion. I like to keep you ahead of the game. I don't like you being, oh my gosh, blindsided by any news because I didn't let you know. It is my job to keep you on top of it all. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably gonna love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. Kicking it off with luxury news. Let's start off with the financials. Don't click out just yet, it's not that boring. This is what's going to tell us who is actually doing well. Because we can sit here and go, oh, I really like what X brand is doing and I really like what Y brand is doing, but the numbers don't lie. The Q2 2025 results came out, okay, so we're halfway through the year. LVMH, they are the juggernaut of luxury fashion. The majority of the big brands are under them or Kering. And basically they are kind of the benchmark. If they're doing well, then like, oh, luxury is, you know, doing okay. Fashion and leather goods division was down 9%. Now, they are basically saying like, we're not worried about this, blah, 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 as we know that there's been a bit of a luxury slowdown, but specifically one of their biggest brands, Dior, has been in a little bit of a weird phase because they've been transitioning out of Maria Grazia Chiuri and towards Jonathan Anderson, but he hasn't showed yet. And things sort of like fell off in sales for Maria Grazia towards the end of her tenure there. So it's been a little bit touch and go for Dior women specifically. Dior men's under Jonathan Anderson has shown, and we've got his first women's show beginning of October, I believe. So we've got that to look forward to. But they've not been doing so well, so that's dragged things down a bit. Louis Vuitton has missed the mark ever so slightly. They have put this down to ongoing struggling sales in Asia, as well as an unpredictable tariff situation, which we know is still going. Gucci sales are down 25%. And if that sounds familiar, it's because they've been down 25% Q1 and 20-something. Are you okay, sir? And they were down 20-something% end of last year. As we know, if we want to talk about transitional time, Gucci is in the midst of it. They got rid of Sabato De Sarno. Demna's coming in, but he's not showing his collection until March. So in this interim, we've already had one season of the design team. We've got another. And it becomes a little bit hard for them to market because as a customer, you're like, I don't know if this style is going to be around. I don't know if this is something that's going to be timeless, because as soon as a new creative director comes in, cleared table, everything is new, everything is the new sort of vision, so it's a rough time for Gucci. Hermes, on the other hand, sales are up 9%, continuing to surpass everybody else. The demand is there. Why? Because especially when, like, you know, economic times are tough and you've got to pick and choose, people would much rather spend less or nothing at other brands and focus on Hermes. Why? Because the quality is there, it's tried and true in terms of like classic and timelessness. It is, if you want to talk about the investment part of it, it's you know, it is the only / one of the few investment bags. Shoppers see the value in their products, and specifically, we're not surprised, the category that is really carrying it all is bags. Apparently, ready-to-wear and silks has gone down a bit. I mean, are we talking about Hermes when it comes to clothes? We're not surprised. It's the Birkins, it's the Kellys, it's the Quota bags, it's the Picotin, it's the Lindy, it's the Garden Party, it's all of that. Prada Group, they've been a bit of an outlier in that they've been doing really well, however, so they're up 9%. But it's really all carried by Miu Miu. Prada has slowed a lot. Miu Miu is their golden child and it is riding a wave. Prada Group have even said they know that this is like, not a one-time thing, but what goes up must come down. So they're sort of like seeing how long this is going to last. But yeah, it is all Miu Miu and not really much Prada. Richemont, owner of Cartier, Van Cleef, as well as Alaïa and Chloé, is up 6%, mainly due to the luxury jewellery and watches division. Q1 was 4%, so they're up on that. I've done a whole video on how spending is sort of moving away from bags and towards jewellery, and this is a key example of that. People are seeing the sort of longevity, the value in jewellery, as well as the fact that the price increases haven't been as egregious in fine jewellery. So these things are almost comparable. It's like, do I want to spend $3,500 on a bag, or do I want to spend $3,500 on a necklace? You know, I will have that video linked below in case you are interested. Burberry, while sales are still down, not as much as they thought, and it is getting better, basically. So Burberry went through a little bit of an aesthetic shift under Daniel Lee, where, you know, it wasn't really what the Burberry customer was used to, especially also with the prices that were involved there. It was Bottega prices for a Burberry customer. Those two things don't live in the same house. So, after inquiring within, as we all must do once in a while, they've decided to go back to their core and really focus on what makes Burberry Burberry. It's the Britishness, it's the check. If you look at their marketing, they focused on things like, you know, what is the most summery British thing to do apart from Wimbledon and strawberries and cream? It's a festival. So they did a lot of festival campaigns. They've casted their own VICs, very important customers, in their campaigns. It feels really authentic to the brand, and that's working, and we're now starting to see that in the numbers. The next piece of news, Louis Vuitton has launched Louis Vuitton Beauty. This is in partnership with Dame Pat McGrath, one of the most legendary makeup artists of all time. However, the thing that has got people really talking about this launch is the price. So the lipsticks are $160. The refills are like 60 something. The eyeshadow palettes are $250, the refills are 90 something. Basically, the full package makes it the most expensive beauty division of a luxury fashion brand. Okay, so this is more than Hermes, more than Chanel, more than YSL, more than Dior. So you've really got to come correct. It launched on the 25th online and will be launching in stores on the 29th. I'm filming this on the day that it launched. I managed to get a few pieces that I will be reporting back on in short form content. I'll do a shorts, I'll do a reel, I'll do a TikTok, whatever, to really go through, like, is it worth it? Like, that better be the best lipstick I've ever tried in my entire life. Those eyeshadows better be so pigmented, I need the tiniest bit. This eyeshadow palette should outlive me. That is the hope, okay? However, aside from the makeup as part of this, they have launched a range of leather goods, and I think this is specifically what we really should be talking about, because let's talk about multi-purpose. They've got a tiny little lipstick case, zip across the top there, it's got a key ring attachment, it's a bag charm. What else can you put in there? Little tidbits, snacks, other little makeup-y bits to hang off your bag. They have a tiny vanity that is meant to house 5 lipsticks. Sod the lipsticks, that's a mini bag. Comes in the monogram, comes in 3 epi-leather colours. I love the pink epi-leather as all of this. I think it's great. I think it's so like a bubblegummy pop. They are also doing a tiny square vanity that reminds me a lot of this little Chanel, okay? Very similar to that, all epi-leather. There's blotting sheets that come in like a little coated canvas holder there that also has a card slot at the back. So really where you're going to get your bang for your buck in this are the small leather goods. Other Lyst index for Q2 2025 has dropped, and let me tell you the highlights. Miu Miu is the #1 brand. Are we surprised? No. Do you get it? No. That was an answer from myself. This was also helped by one of the hottest products of the quarter was Miu Miu's suede loafers. Loewe is in at #2, Saint Laurent is in at #3. Burberry is back in the top 20, having fallen off for a while, so I'm glad to see them back there. They're at #17. And the Row is now at its highest ranking in the list ever at #6. And they have also got an item that features in the hottest products list, and those are the controversial flip-flops. It's a foam flip-flop with a fabric thong situation, and they want a lot of money for it. So it's had a lot of chatter. In terms of rising brands, we have Pucci. Unsurprising, considering that everybody's been talking about the fact that it's a Pucci girl summer. Jacques-Marie Marge, searches are up 34%. This is interesting. This is a high-end eyewear brand. You are talking at least $800 for a pair of their sunglasses. However, it's also a brand that's been talked about a lot on social media. A lot of people really enjoy this sort of like limited edition, you know, they're all numbered, it's treated almost like art side of it. It almost reflects what we talked about earlier with a brand like Hermes doing really well, because people don't mind to pay as long as they're getting the quality for it. And then also ROHE, I believe this is a Dutch brand, and their most popular item is the lace-trimmed silk shorts. A bit quite luxury as a brand, a bit minimalist. In terms of heart products, there's a couple here that might throw the old heart a bit. Isabel Marant Beckett sneakers. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. This is not 2015. They are on the list. They're there. And then also the Prada nylon collapsible shoe. I'm happy for this because I think it's a great shoe. I've shown you this a few times in different shopping vlogs. It is light as a feather. There is absolutely nothing to this shoe, and it's extremely comfortable. Great for something like travel, great for walking around, all of that. Loro Piana has been put into court administration. Oh my gosh. So as we have now, what, the 5th or 6th brand that's been put under court administration for really dodgy, awful labour practices because they've been subcontracting out, and apparently due diligence is not being done, and terrible things are happening to workers creating these really expensive pieces. So Loro Piana is the latest. Allegedly, the Milan Labour Protection Unit arrested a workshop owner after one of his workers reported him for physical abuse that resulted in 45 days of treatment. And there's even more details aside from that. And then it was found out that that workshop actually produces Loro Piana cashmere jackets. One of Loro Piana's suppliers had basically subcontracted out to that workshop. And apparently as soon as they found that out, Loro Piana have terminated the contract with that supplier. But it is just, once again, especially for a brand like Loro Piana, you know, they go on and on about their quality and craftsmanship and history and all of that, and then this is happening. I mean, it's just absolutely horrendous. While we're on the topic of law cases, we've got Richemont versus Malidani. So, something that comes up a lot, especially when it comes to luxury branded fine jewellery or Cartier, love your Van Cleef, Alhambra, are the jeweller dupes. You can go to a local jeweller and they can make you this exact same thing, but you're not paying for the brand name, blah, 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 all of this business. Is it a dupe or is it a fake? Question. Anyway, Richemont is suing a New York-based jeweller called Malidani, not only for the fact that they're copying popular Cartier and Van Cleef pieces, but also for the fact that they are selling them at similar prices, which basically is duping the customer into thinking that these are authentic pieces, right? And especially because they're same price. If they're cheaper, then maybe the customer is like, oh yes, I know that this is a dupe or whatever. So that's the kind of case they're going after. This will be interesting, and it'll be interesting to sort of see if the outcome of this changes anything within the luxury jewelry industry. The Dior New York flagship has opened its doors. It's on 57th and Madison. It is 4 floors of Dior-liciousness. You've got men's, women's, I also believe kids, homeware, leather goods, shoes, accessories, fine jewellery, watches. Is there anything else? I think that's it. You've got everything. It's also got a full-time spa. This is their first full-time spa location in the US. So you can treat yourself to a little Dior spa day. They are also having exclusive pieces available only to buy in the store, including there's like a beige satin Lady D-Joy that is, it's got these like dripping beads and pearls. That's cute. And then there's also apparently a special pair of Dior slingbacks that says like New York City Dior, something like that. Another sad news, Louisa Viaroma has filed for court protection, which is basically apparently similar to like a Chapter 11 sort of bankruptcy-ish situation. It's not looking good. So they've been struggling. It's a Florence-based e-retailer. If you shop luxury fashion online, you've probably been on Louisa Viaroma. And they have been struggling to pay, I believe, 1,250 brands. Times are tough, and they are looking to close a couple of stores in the hopes that they can turn it around. Fingers crossed, but Yeah, there we go. Will they go the way of matches? New and noteworthy. Speaking of Dior, the Lady Dior art project celebrates its 10th year anniversary. So over the last 10 years, annually, Dior will collaborate with 10 different artists, some very well known, some more emerging, to create special edition Dior bags, you know, under the vision of that artist, okay? So for their 10th anniversary, they're releasing a book with Rizzoli. I believe it launches in October. That will include 99 artists' interpretations. I'm not sure if it's been announced exactly which artists we're getting for the 10th year anniversary, but there will only be 100 pieces of each bag available. Gucci has collaborated with Pomellato, the fine jewellery brand, and have created something really quite special, to be honest with you. I saw it and I was like, wow, if I had the money for high jewellery, this is not fine jewellery, this is high jewellery, this one, then my money would go there. They've basically done it sort of based on, you know, the equestrian horse bit that we know and love from Gucci, but they've also used not only fine jewellery materials, gold, diamonds and things like that, but they've also done it with leather, which I think is a really cool sort of mix there. It maybe makes things feel slightly more casual even. There is also a bag. It's like a hard shell little clutch, black leather, and then attached to it, almost like a really fabulous wristlet attached to it that just like, oh, that is just really quite beautiful. Moving into some products. Louis Vuitton has launched the Express. Now, the Express is actually what the speedy bag used to be called when it was very first invented, when it debuted back in the early 1900s, and it's very, very similar to a speedy bag. These are all leather. You have these rolled leather handles. It's got multiple straps, skinny straps. I'm quite intrigued, but I quite like this bag actually. You can top handle, you can shoulder, you can crossbody. There's lots of options with this bag. I like the fact that the body of the bag is sort of a one colour, and then all of the straps are monogram, and the interior is monogram as well. This comes in 3 sizes. You've got the PM, the MM, and the travel size. Another sort of interpretation of the Speedy. You know, we have the original Speedy, we've got the Speedy Soft now, we've got the P9, and now this. I find that quite interesting. Celine pre-orders are open. Okay, so for spring-summer 2026, I believe delivery is going to come between September and December. If you want anything from Michael Ryder's debut, if you've got your eyes on any of the Phantom luggage bags, pre-orders are being taken for those. Get in touch with a Celine SA and I'm sure that they will be more than happy to secure that for you. In terms of the Phantom, I do have some more information. It's coming in a small, medium and a large. There is a suede version, I believe, in the medium size. And then there is also a sort of shoulder baggy tote, very flat version that usually I would hate. I hate a flat bag. But for some reason, maybe it's because Meryl Streep seems to be wearing it in the Devil Wears Prada 2. Maybe that's what did it for me. I think that's quite chic. That one I think is coming in at $2,100, so like £1,750. Just throwing that out there, something around there. I just wanted to add here, the Prada collapsible shoe that made it into the Lyst index, they now have a black version that has a silver toe cap. And I think that that is fabulous. We're now seeing the sort of the rise of the ballet sneaker, and half of the time I'm not necessarily a fan of the way that it's been done. But something like this actually gives that ballet vibe with the toe cap, but in a sporty way that also I like. I'm like, you're different from the others, and I think that you're really cool. And just imagine this peeking out from any trouser, jean, that kind of situation, a flowy silk trouser, and then you've just got that metal toe cap. She's fabulous. I'm really glad they did that. I think that was an excellent, good decision, whoever made that decision. There you go. Let me know your thoughts, if anything surprised you. I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.